So, you know that today, I understand what's gonna happen when I'm making my video about what Thunderbirds is doing because the Sandbox is partnering with the Thunderbirds in what ITV Studios is taking Thunderbirds to the metaverse. And it feels like the animation reminds me of Minecraft. As I know, there's tons of hype surrounding that Mario Brothers movie that we know of. I'm not gonna see that movie, and I might do my retrospective of a classic 2004 movie that we don't like. So, we need to talk about this movie that I'm talking about called Thunderbirds 2004. As I know, this movie was quite ill fated, in my opinion. I understood what happened to this movie is that this movie didn't got off the ground because it never got a sequel for some reason. If we want to climb into the driver's seat, we have to discover what's gonna happen in this movie we're gonna watch. So let's try and find out what happened to Thunderbirds 2004. This movie was said to have been based on that 1965 TV series created by the Anderson brothers, Sylvia and Gary Anderson. Even though this concept felt very interesting, that it dealt with the whole show being set in the 2060s, where the Thunderbirds are a life-saving organization team equipped with rescue craft vehicles. What they lead 5 vehicles to serve as base of operations in the Pacific Ocean. Even though Jeff Tracy leads his 5 adult sons to fight the Thunderbird machines. Even though it sounds like an appropriately creative movie for me to do this, so I understood what happened in this movie. It was directed by Jonathan Frakes, and this movie got released on July 23rd, 2004. In what I understood that there's a major problem with this movie, as it dealt with this alternate continuity where the Hood, who traps international rescue leader Jeff Tracy and 4 of his sons on board the damaged Thunderbird 5 to steal the Thunderbird's vehicles and commit his heist, that international rescue will be blamed for prompting Jeff's youngest son, Alan, and his friends, Tintin and Fermat, have to stop him. In contrast to the original series, they originally used a combination of puppetry and scale modern special effects, dubbed Super Mario Nation. That sounds like Mario to me. It was made with live action with CGI effects. For some reason why, this movie bombed at the box office at $28.3 million on a budget of $57 million. And for a 95-minute running time film, despite being distributed by Universal Pictures with its production companies, Working Title Films and Studio Canal, the funniest thing is everyone had negative reviews discovering why this movie was woodenly thin. And lots of people realized it was so awful, in my opinion. I understood what happened in this 2004 movie. As I noticed according to awfulmovieswiki.com, I understood what happened to this crazy movie. Lots of people think that this movie should be blamed for what we got about this problem. Throughout 1996, it was a totally different movie with Peter Hewitt directing, and fans really wanted Jonathan Scaich and Tom Everett Scott to portray Scott and Virgil, Matt Damon as Alan, Steve Zahn as Gordon, Rowan Atkinson as Brains, why I knew him from Mr. Bean, Liv Tyler as Tintin, Kirsten Scott Thomas as Lady Penelope, and Pete Postlethwaite as Parker. But I've heard some sort of rumor that according to trivia about who will play Jeff, I understood what happens in this movie. Despite being set in 2010, Leonardo DiCaprio was considered for the role of Jeff Tracy for some reason. For some reason, this movie had tons of production problems because of the whole problem with NBC Universal merger. It was happening around 2004 for some reason. For some reason, that 2004 NBC Universal merger was like this merger killed the movie as a whole. And the craziest thing is that this movie copied a lot of ideas of what happened in Space Jam. Because, you know, in Space Jam 1996, that original movie, I understood what happens in Space Jam. It's all about Michael Jordan teaming up with the Looney Tunes to take down the Goon Squad led by Mr. Swarthammer. In what he made them steal the skills of all of his basketball friends. And this feels like Thunderbirds copied this idea from Space Jam. It is a bit too shitty about what the acting is really, really awful in my opinion. And I didn't understand why they chose Ben Kingsley to play the Hood. It doesn't make sense that Team America World Police was a much better movie than this piece of shit. That the soundtrack is believably unforgettable. And I understood that what happened in this movie was really, really bad. As I noticed, this movie was not good in my opinion. There's something redeemable that the pop rock band Busted performed Thunderbirds Go, which peaked #1 at the UK charts and won the 2004 UK Record of the Year, and Take Me Away by Khalid Peters was used for international countries excluding the UK, such as USA, Canada, Australia, and most notably Ireland. And also, that applies to like Spain and France and Italy, German, and most notably Japan. Now, despite that redeeming quality, this is sort of like an attempted Space Jam cash grab about what this movie was going to be like. And this is not what I wanted to expect from. I have to tell you the truth. I told Zach to bite, and what should I give this movie? You know what this movie should get? I always think Speed Racer is much better than Thunderbirds 2004. As I noticed, it's really, really bad, but what should I give this movie? Well, I should give this movie nothing but a 2 out of 10. Because it's just a lame old-fashioned Space Jam rip-off movie. As I can imagine, this movie was trying to be the United Kingdom's answer to Space Jam. But I noticed if I bought that movie, I might get pissed off watching it with my family and friends. Well, you know what they say? The central theme in this movie is really bad in my opinion. It's all about what happened with ITC Entertainment Library and Warrant C. Graham acquired Polygon Filmed Entertainment. Despite the troubled production, it shouldn't be a CGI animated feature film, like in the same vein to that of Toy Story. As I noticed, that Toy Story was a much better film than this garbage Thunderbirds 2004 movie that we all hated. It's practically better, but you know what they say, the central theme, it's a bit ridiculous to understand. But reportedly, the lesson is committing a heist in London for the use of vehicles could lead to trouble. And that is ridiculous. That's a really bad lesson that I can't stand. But I know I felt orphaned about why everyone hates this film. But you know what they say? I've run out of ideas and all I can say is, just, that's it. It's over. Everything's over. It's done. Nothing matters now. And so, good night everyone. So, bye-bye.